probably the most charming too. With me is a less handsome man that you may remember from a long fucking time ago when he actually played League of Legends, but he doesn't. And we brought him back, and I don't really know why, other than he kind of wanted to come. Astros VK's in the house. Hey, Astros, what's up?
I'm doing awful. I'm alive still, sadly. So
All right, cool.
That's so angsty.
Every day is suffering. Also, Ponderous Sea Lion is here. He doesn't play League.
Really thought you were teeing me up with that intro to be.
Yeah,
about to
that
say.
was a
You.
it was a
Nice-
left turn.
Nice fucking twisteroo.
It was a wild M Night Shyamalan esque, twist. And
So
so,
is it-
anyway,
is it
Danger.
normal to get cuter as you quit League? Because I might quit League just to become as cute as Ponderous.
God damn it, Astros. Not
You
in
might
the
get
podcast.
cuter, but you're never gonna be that cute.
Yeah,
Well,
it's the
anything
haircut,
is
really.
anything is an improvement
Coming
for me.
Right
so.
out of the gate with the homoerotic subtext. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
There's nothing
here's the thing.
subtexty about it. I don't think you're listening.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's actually only just
Just
the
text.
text.
It
Yeah,
was
it's just
very
text.
exclamation point.
So anyway, no, it's actually the haircut. That's what did it. You look like a human again, and that's cool. You don't look like a cartoon version of yourself that busts ghosts.
Asshole.
So I mean, I'm
Asshole.
just proud of you that you've moved past your horrible phase of hair care and moved into this.
Yeah, because if there's somebody that I want to listen to about hair care,
Yeah,
it's Wise Papa Smurf.
that's correct.
The
Now we're all
baldest
in
I'll tell you this.
motherfucker.
This was beautifully coiffed when it was there.
Yeah,
Like that
I
was
bet it
16
was.
years ago.
Yeah, 60 years ago when.
I said 16.
Oh well, yeah, it was around actually 16 years ago. But anyway,
It's more accurate.
that is accurate. I can't dispute the facts. It was. So also on the podcast is Danger Penguin. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing okay.
All right.
Wow, we've got
This
one
is-
person who doesn't want to be alive and one person who's introduced themselves as being just okay.
Well, this is the highlight of like my year is I finally get to talk to Ponderous again. It's been a long time. I
Yeah.
miss you.
Well, I mean, it's the restraining order finally wore off, and so now we thought this would be a good time.
So I'm back.
So
And I wanted to announce that I'm going to be doing a 24-hour live stream where I play League of Legends solo queue the entire time.
Wait, can I get in on that?
No, that's not really happening.
Can
So-
we make it happen?
He doesn't hate himself.
so
Well, I do. So
yeah. So anyway, hey, Ponders, what you been up to, man? It's been like forever since you played League or anything.
Is it my turn to plug things? Oh boy.
Yeah, go
how
ahead,
I do
plug away.
love self-promotion. So I have my own new podcast now.
Okay.
It's called Fade In, a TV pilot podcast, and I just go over different TV pilots and talk about them. It's real douchebag stuff. If you liked League of Legends Radio, you'll probably like it because let's be real, it's just me being an asshole in front of a microphone, and that's what I'm best at. So you can check that out. It's on all the fucking major podcast platforms, and forget how much work it is to do all the fucking shit that goes into making your own podcast. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a struggle, but come listen to it.
So why
to make
TV
it worth my
pilots?
while. I've got like 10 episodes out right now, so
All right. All right. So that's awesome. Why TV pilots though?
I don't know. I just because there's so many podcasts talking about movies and TV shows, and here's my cat saying hi. I feel like you have to have something to differentiate yourself, and I don't know. I like TV pilots. I think they're interesting because it's a lot to get done in a relatively short amount of time. You know, it's kind of an exercise in
So are you watching like
How much
old
you can
TV
condense
pilots or like new stuff?
anything, just whatever I feel like. Basically, there's no
Okay.
criteria, as there was with League of Legends Radio and this show. Apparently,
no,
I'm
that's true.
allergic to doing things correctly.
That's
So-
exactly, you've kind of hit the nail on the head. So, okay. Well, that's awesome. You still
Thank
dating that girl?
Dude, it's a new one every week. You'll have to be more specific.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm kidding.
you know how hard it is for me to keep up with all my moms rotating in and out of my life.
I fucking hate you, Astros. I'm dating Julia.
So
Which-
yes, then would have been the answer to that
Yeah.
question.
24-hour live
I don't
stream
know. When's the
duo
last time we
queuing
can
with
talk?
her.
When you were dating Julia would be the last
Well,
time we
then-
talked, I think.
Fine,
So yes.
jackass.
Can we just
All
talk
right.
about that content? 24-hour live stream with her and
Yeah.
me.
Hey,
Like a
should-
family.
You're just
Like a
begging to be
family.
part of this. He's like,
So,
It's the family. It's the family.
So-
you know?
It's weird having a son that's the same age as you, but
Ponderous, I haven't talked to you in long enough. You need to go check out this podcast. About 6 episodes ago, when Astro's dad like he just
he's
appeared
gonna
out
walk
of
in.
nowhere,
He's gonna
came
walk
on
in.
the show and started flaming him for like the last 15 minutes. It's probably would be your favorite thing in the world. I mean, I
gonna
nearly
happen.
died, and yeah, it happened. It's what's the title of that episode again?
It's something involving John, like
Yeah,
100%.
it's like The Rise of John or something like that.
So what's gonna see
Yeah.
every Thursday when we record, they go down to the restaurant down the street and they'll walk in this door afterwards.
Oh, I'm trying to find it, but it's
Yeah,
playing
please
the last
play the
episode.
audio through.
No, I don't
the
want to play
stream.
the audio. I'm just trying to the episode so I can tell Ponderous to go back and watch that episode.
So he's 100% gonna walk through this back door in anywhere from a half hour to like an hour. I guarantee it.
I can't wait to meet him.
He's pretty awesome. I have to say, I like him better than Astros for sure.
I like him better than I like myself.
Whenever he
too.
told me that Astros has the diet of a 6th grader, that sold me on the man. He's
Remember when
in
this
the
was a
LOLA Hall of
podcast
Fame.
about League of Legends? Me
Dude,
neither.
No
I
one
think-
Here we
remembers
go.
that at this point.
Ponderous, episode 258, The Rise of John. That is the episode. So
That's so many episodes.
you will need to go check that one out. You will probably love that. So anyway, guys, League. We should probably talk about it some. This is going to be an extra long episode because last week we didn't record one because my video died. My video card died. Endeavor's video card died. I think we had one other video card go down all at the same kind of time. So quit. Whoever.
I'm just a lazy fuck.
Our video
I-
cards.
I didn't want to do it.
Well, yeah, I actually asked the guys like, "Hey, can anybody record a podcast, please, when my video card is down?" And that didn't happen. So we're just gonna go long today, talking about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. Ponderous, do you have any connection to League of Legends anymore?
I'm his son.
What do
That's
you
the
think
connection.
the answer to that
I
question?
mean, do you
is?
watch
It's
the
right here. This is
LCS?
his last
I
connection.
watched
This is
that Forest Within video. I enjoyed that very
Force
much.
Within video.
The 200 plus years of experience video. I liked
Yeah.
that one a lot.
That's good.
I think I linked it in the Discord. That's about the only league related
Well, I
thing
still
that
see you
I've consumed
trolling around the
recently.
Discord all the time, so I was like, well, if he's saying shit, he's probably at least keeping remotely up to scene.
I believe that. So I know that they announced that character named Aphelios. I don't know anything about him.
He's already out.
No, nobody does.
Right.
Yeah.
And
there
then
was
another
one. What
champion
was the
came.
other one that they released?
Set.
Set.
Set. Don't know
And
anything about
Senna.
that one. I want
And
to check.
Senna.
And Senna. I remember Senna coming out, but I was already not playing by then.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't know shit.
basically, Set's like Dude Vi.
Cool.
Set's really broken.
So even hotter.
That's not
basically,
even
is what you're
close to
saying.
as broken as Aphelios or Set.
Set's broken because his numbers are broken.
Yeah, Set can be balanced. Aphelios
yeah.
is a piece of shit. So
Yeah, I fucking Phelios. But anyway. All right. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing this week. We're gonna talk about a little bit about LCS stuff because Astros wants to get into that. He seemed pretty passionate about it. Penguin also, and then yeah, I'll share how my placements are going. They're not. I am getting hard butt fucked, and I'm not doing very well personally. So I'm gonna take some responsibility, and we'll go from there. We'll have a nice little round table about all of that mess. And then if anybody is on the stream and wants to talk about a topic, get it in now. Because I would love to look it over, see if it's something we want to talk about. And if it is, we will talk about that thing. So,
I'm
all
connecting
right.
to the chat now, so I'll be.
Oh, you're gonna be
watching
the chat monitor?
with my eagle eyes. Yeah.
That would be excellent. I would appreciate that. Okay, so LCS boys, it's fired up. We have some teams to watch. We have a couple of 2-0 teams, one of which is my boys, Cloud9. What the fuck? Everybody kind of thought that team was downgraded real hard, and they came out. They looked pretty good.
The C9 fans felt like they downgraded. Their roster was completely fine. It was just a lot more dice roll. Like your bot lane got better, in my opinion, and then your
Probably
risking
got
was
better
younger.
after watching the first week. But if you watched Sven all of the last 2 years, you watched someone look like they came to NA to retire. Like, I mean, he looked like shit on TSM.
Sorry to be that guy. What is their roster currently?
It's
Oh
Licorice,
shit! Yeah, let's back it up for old Ponderous.
Licorice,
That makes
Licorice,
sense.
Blabber, Niski, Sven, and Vulcan.
Say it one more time. Niski, Blabber, Sven.
Licorice and
Licorice.
Vulcan.
I don't know Vulcan.
Vulcan is like the best NA support. Like native NA support.
Yeah, not the best NA support. That's Core JJ, but the best native NA. You know,
When did he
so,
join the scene?
just
never heard of
last
this
year
guy.
is when he really.
He's
hit the scene.
nutty.
Yeah, he's actually very good.
That seems like a pretty good roster.
And the synergy with Sven looked good in the first week too, which apparently Sven is very, like all the articles are coming out that he's very focused and he helps keep everyone on target. And last year they were just fucking around, and then this year they're serious and they really like the atmosphere more. So.
Well, it's a very young team. Like when you think about it, like Blabber, Licorice, Vulcan, like you have 3 really young players. Niski's in the middle, and then Sven's your old guard. And I mean, I don't know. I think the reason that they're not getting punished as hard is because jungle after 15 minutes doesn't matter. So Blabber can int as much as he wants after 15 minutes. So that was Blabber's biggest weakness, was playing late game, and now he doesn't have to. Like he can make mistakes, and it's not going to be detrimental.
Yeah, so they look good. They did look good. There's no doubt about that.
Well, okay, so the other 2-0 team.
There's 2 actually. 2 of them.
Yeah, it's just said C9, and then the other.
No, there's 3 total.
Oh, there's 3?
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, well, let's get into Dig. Dig was a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect anything from their roster.
No, I didn't.
And then 2-0. So what happened? What's
Well, the roster isn't actually like awful. So one thing to take in consideration is there's been so many visa issues. Apparently, like a lot of teams are coming in with like practice with their main roster from like 2 weeks worth of practice, and like that's not a lot.
I love NA. Can I just say that? Being an NA fan is very rewarding.
I think that is actually the key. Whenever you see a 2-0 team, any of these 2-0 teams, keep in mind they played 2 other NA teams. And that might be a big reason why they're 2-0. Because if you throw any of these 2-0 teams over in Europe, you're probably looking at an 0-2 week.
Who's 2-0? Is TSM 2-0? Can I go back to being a TSM
OT,
fan?
You cannot. They're 0-2. They couldn't even beat any NA
Why?
teams. So.
Do you know their roster?
No, but I'd love to.
All right, so it's Broken Blade,
Okay.
Dardoch,
Okay.
Bjerg,
Okay.
Kabe,
Don't know who.
and
Oh,
TSM.
wait, Tabe. Is
Or-
that a Chinese
and-
player?
Kabe's
No,
from Europe. Yeah.
Kabe's from Europe, and BioDaddy's back.
That seems like it would be a decent roster.
You would think so, but then you have to remember that they have to be coached and learn how to play, with a lead, which they
So-
do not know how to do.
There's
Is Dardoch still like a cocksmoker, or is he chilled out?
he is. He's
Okay,
very
cool.
chill.
I was just
I don't
checking.
know. Apparently, that he had like at the beginning of the season during their scrims, he had like a situation, and TSM like smothered it immediately, and apparently he's been better since then. So apparently it started off pretty rocky, but they smothered it pretty quickly.
Can we just talk about that Team Liquid documentary for the last 30 minutes of the podcast?
You mean the
Breaking
boiling point or
point?
whatever? Yeah. No, I mean I think you could
Why
literally.
did they call it boiling point?
They should have because it's liquid.
Oh God!
You know what
damn
I
it.
mean? I'm just full of good
Well,
ideas. They
Do you
didn't
remember when
consult with
I
me first.
like came to you with that epiphany about why the Team Liquid mascot was a horse?
And I told
because
you the real reason why.
yeah, so I was thinking about it one day because I was like, why the fuck is their mascot a horse if they're Team Liquid? I don't understand the connection. And I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, because in Greek mythology, Poseidon created horses and he's the god of the ocean. So I was like, oh, I see the connection there. And then I told that to Blake because I was really proud of myself for figuring it out. And then
I immediately was like, no, that's not the fucking reason. It was an old graphic on their website. And he's like,
that's
oh,
it.
okay. And I'm like, yeah.
Terrible
No,
explanation.
it's just this really shitty graphic of like horses running down a mountainside, like
Awful.
water horses, and they're like, oh yeah, it was like that shit that should be airbrushed on a van. It was like on their website.
Or like on like your Tumblr landing page.
Yeah.
It's like your banner.
Yeah,
Just
it's
with
like
Tumblr
that
is.
kind of shit. So anyway, but yeah, no, he was way off. But his explanation was great. But that
If
is
it
not
was real.
Yeah, if it was real, that should be the explanation. They should rewrite history and be like,
Yeah,
nah,
the next
man,
video-
Poseidon and horses and water and us.
I finally
Everybody
figured it
be
out,
like,
guys. He's got like this
"Alright."
huge, crazy wall where he's got all the strings attached.
It's like the
It's
Charlie
fucking
Day wall.
Poseidon! Poseidon!
I'll tell you a little about bird law while we're at it. You're going to go mano a mano on bird law. We could totally do that. So, anyway. Okay, so, Dig, was the enormous expenditure of money worth it? How did Hooney look?
He looked okay.
I
Nothing
look
special.
pretty good. I mean, worth it is a tough question, but
Well, I mean, I guess the question is, did he look $2.3 million good?
There's not a single person I'd pay in the league $2.3 million to play on my team.
What about Faker himself?
He's not in the league. Like I'm saying, in NA right now.
yeah, I think Evil tried to give it to Chovy, and I would say he would have been worth it.
You keep naming all these players.
Yeah,
Then again, I didn't know any
Chovy's
fucking
like Chovy's like 12 years old, so it's okay that he's. But
I
he's
try not to
really
get too
fucking
familiar
good
with
at
12-year-olds. Yeah.
it. You usually do. You just don't do too well at it.
I try. I fail. I fail
I'll-
hard.
I'll tell you who
I
impressed me
get
most.
emotionally vested, and it's hard to cut ties.
Who the fuck am I, Astros? Jesus Christ.
Who
What?
impressed me most on Dig was Froggen. Froggen looked
What?
really good.
So I think like I overthought their dynamic because like what it's gonna come down to is they're gonna give Hooney the priority pick that he wants because Froggen will play off meta shit anyway, and then you just give resources to Froggen, and then they're both happy. I expected it to be like a big clash, and then it just wasn't.
Hold on one second. Is anybody else hearing Astros might go quiet and then gradually
Yes.
Yeah, he
pick up
just did.
volume? And
Yeah. He just dialed it up a notch. He got really excited.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Oh Jesus! Don't do that. Like audio editor, pay attention right here. Hopefully this 18 minutes. So anyway, all right. So you
There
said
they are.
Froggen?
Froggen, man.
Hi, John.
Hey
Oh,
John!
John.
Hey!
What's up, guys?
What's going on, John? Nice to see you again. How was dinner, my man?
How was dinner?
It was good.
Okay, that's
Excellent. Good. John's a fucking hero around here.
He has to be to be able to deal
Single-handedly
with
saved the
Astros.
fucking podcast.
Honestly, I was thinking about kicking John a chunk of Patreon money just to come up with fresh material to ridicule Astros with. But, like, here's a 5 spot, John. Go rip into Astros some more. Fucking, it's like a salt lick for deer. Just put $5 up in John's house and be like, this is hateful shit, cut deep.
He doesn't
anyway.
even care about the money. That's the thing.
Yeah, he'll do it for free.
It's about the love. It's about the love of the hatred.
My own headphones.
Well, we haven't scheduled anything. Like, you leave Thursdays, you can't just join in the middle of a recording. It's very inefficient.
Does he want to get his own headphones? We really should get him. I will send him headphones.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
That's a good use of the Patreon money.
Oh no, it is. Like those have been some of the more entertaining
Tyler
episodes.
Toilet, he had to really go, so
Astros, why do you have a child's toilet there? Let's just stop right here.
There's a kid's desk behind me. Like you act like this is
Uh-huh.
just my room.
Where is the kid's desk again?
You don't see it? It's right there.
No, I see
you're
like a
old,
tool bench right there.
Other colors there. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah, that's Astro's tool bench.
That's where he does all of his difficult work, you know, his handcrafted.
Is that DeWalt? No, that's Fisher Price.
It's cost efficient, dude.
Most of the things I build squeak whenever I hit them with a hammer. You know,
make a
but
lot
it's
of
cool.
I make my Play-Doh snakes over there, so
So okay, so back. Who's our third team? There's a third team that went 3-0.
FlyQuest.
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 That's the one to get excited about.
They're planting
What?
trees.
They're planting trees and they're planting wins.
Okay, what happened? Who did they play? Like just
Is
mouth
Wild
breathers
Turtle
or
still on the roster?
Wild Turtle is making 700K.
Yeah.
yeah?
What did they release player salaries or something?
No. Wild Turtle
some
had
of
a
them.
3-year contract that went up to 700K if they kept him. And
So
against
it's
all
fair.
logic, they did that.
So it was 500. If they used him a third year, he'd get 200 extra. So he got 7. FlyQuest played CLG, which looked absolutely atrocious, and
Yeah.
Immortals. And I don't know about Immortals yet. It doesn't seem to add up for me.
Okay, so I'm just gonna chalk FlyQuest up to they played shit teams. Does that seem fair?
But they didn't look awful at the same time.
No, they didn't look awful. And one of the, I think the key factors, I think Ignar is actually really underrated. I watched him a lot over in LEC and when he played for the LPL. And he's a really good support, which really helps Wild Turtle out when he makes some of his dumbass plays.
Also, if Turtle gets Aphelios, it's just great because as long as he presses R before he dies, he does like 50% HP to whoever's near him.
That's all you need. It's
So-
really simple.
And this Santorin really fits this meta, so it's also good for him.
Yep. So they actually have a few things going for them. It's not as random as it sounds. And Viper like popped off in one of the games.
Oh yeah, he got his Riven. So
He got
now-
Riven and he
now he
fucking
gets-
slaughtered on him.
So now
Yeah.
everyone again is just gonna ban Riven from
Did
Fly.
you see the Poe Belter tweet?
No.
It's playing against FlyQuest. Don't ban Riven because you think you have an answer to Riven. Then remember that Viper plays Riven. Get destroyed. Proceed to ban Riven for the rest of the season against FlyQuest.
Yeah, I don't think Fly will ever get it again. So,
Yeah, agreed.
I mean,
Was it just that devastating? I mean,
He played
I
insanely.
didn't watch that game at all. Like, I wouldn't watch a FlyQuest game. Just 'cause.
You said that with like the same tone that you would use casual racism for. Like it was, you had the exact same cadence. It's like I wouldn't go to that bus station in that part of town.
Bus station.
I don't know.
so here's like the thing about Riven and pro play.
I didn't want to say something actually racist.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
no, that's good. That's a
He had
good.
to go out of his way to
just,
not say something actually.
You know, I
racist.
just vaguely kind of referenced Rosa Parks, but you
Yeah.
know, whatever.
Like we know what the
And we
the
want to go to that
makeup
diner.
of that area is, that part of town, but you're not saying it explicitly, so you can maintain the illusion that you're not a racist. I don't know. This is getting weird. Just keep talking about FlyQuest. I don't care
Okay.
anymore.
Onward and so forth. But yeah,
I think the
No,
biggest
I guess what we're getting at here is I wouldn't want to sit in on FlyQuest diner. You know what I mean?
they're not
I
in
have
the
my
diner.
choice.
They're out planting trees and saving the
Yeah,
environment.
where
and
is that from? Did they make like a video or something for
Uh,
Arbor Day or?
something? No, it's
no,
just
no,
looking
they're
for- I
they're
don't
like
know they're planting
CEO
trees.
came out and is like they're doing all this shit for like Australia and stuff.
Oh, so rebuilding from the wildfires and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's
So
cool.
it's actually pretty cool. Yeah,
Oh, that's neat.
I like the jerseys. They look pretty nice.
I like that they're taking risks. Like they're not just going with standard shit. Like
Did they change the logo? Because
it's
super
all
boring.
flowery.
Yeah, it's
All
just like a
flowery.
very floral shirt. But about like Riven and
Very
Pro,
floral.
about Riven and Pro Play, it's like a good pick, but you have to be like super proficient at it, and not a lot of players in LCS have time to put that many games on Riven.
Yeah.
But when you have a Riven
Oh,
in LCS,
it is really floral.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding.
Like it looks like a bottle of hand soap.
ooh, I'll be right
Why
back.
Have you
didn't they
seen-
just
Ponderous,
go
have you
with
seen
the?
this? Like, look up FlyQuest jersey 2020. It
Yeah,
looks
look
like
it
a
up.
bottle of hand soap for real. Like a good bottle of hand soap.
Yeah, this isn't cheap shit.
Yeah, that's not the cheap shit. Or like
Oh, yeah.
Kleenexes. That could be a box of Kleenexes right there. On the
I
side.
would have preferred just electric blue on black like every other fucking LCS team, but I guess that's pretty cool too.
No, I meant the actual logo though. It's still like the FQ thing.
Yeah.
I do actually like the. I mean, the flowery thing kind of stands out. It's kind of a weird. Why did they do that? Is that because of the wildfire thing?
I don't know. I think it's a decision they made to try something new.
Was it because it's spring split and
Maybe.
spring flowers, or
Bring May showers, yeah, all that stuff.
well,
Has anybody written anything in
okay.
the chat and I'm just not getting it, or is our chat just dead as fuck?
Oh, it could be
Because
the
nobody
chat
gives a
says
shit
fuck.
about my return.
But I mean,
Well,
realistically,
it wasn't well publicized. That was our big issue. We didn't
Probably true.
we didn't pub it the way we would have had
That's
we
the only
known this was
reason.
about to happen.
Yeah. That makes me feel better.
Yeah. Well, you
Very
gave me
fragile.
about 5 seconds of warning before you were going to be on the show, so it really doesn't help to do promotionals if you tell me as you enter the fucking thing.
I said I would do it,
Yep, you did.
and then I joined.
And then you
They-
did it.
And here he
I
is.
just
And
joined
then-
really quickly right after. All right. Come on.
So, anyway. Okay, so FlyQuest, we don't really know about. So you're saying Immortals. This is a team that interests me, and I can't really put my finger on the why of that. So
why it
what's
interests you, or why?
Yeah,
it's
why
bad?
it interests me.
I mean, you have two big names in Soaz and Xmithy, but
Right.
Xmithy has no one to elevate as a player, which is what Xmithy does well. So the roster is gonna struggle.
Yup. And Xmethy looked really bad last split. So
I think this is going to be the split that Xmithy dies on. I think after getting kicked off TL, he should have just either retired or went and played like academy or something, or gotten into coaching. Like, I think it would have been way better.
How old is he?
He's not the oldest in LCS, I don't think, but
He's like 27 or something, 28, right?
it's not even his age. He's just not.
No,
like-
I know.
it's
I
his
remember
age.
hearing that
Too
before.
damn old.
Yeah.
Might as well be in a wheelchair.
He's 28.
28. I remember those days. I was basically dead.
I think that's really all you can say about Immortals, though. Like, there's not really. I don't see what your win condition ever is. And now you're putting Soaz back on like carries because that's your most reliable person to play through. And
Wait, Soaz is in NA now? Do we
Yeah.
have any NA players in NA?
No, not if you're smart.
you have
Fuck no.
you only
Don't you
have
wanna
NA
try and win.
you only have NA players until the imports become residents, and then you can get rid of your NA players for more imports.
Yep. That
That's the big brain
it
shit.
is the way.
And NA has
I
a lot
have
of good
spoken.
supports. NA has good supports. We have 3.
We have palatable NA supports, but still, when you're bringing over supports from other areas, you're bringing over better players.
Yeah, but like there's very few instances where I think bringing over an import support is actually better because you have
Well, because you have to, yes, because
You
your
have to
other
import-
positions are
yeah.
so bad that you do
Yeah.
need to fill them in. A fair assessment.
that's exactly what I was pointing out.
I know it is, and
I was
I'm agreeing with you.
I used
Like-
to play these tournaments at the local college here, like these LAN tournaments, and they were elo balanced. So basically, if you were diamond, you just got fucked in the matchmaking. And I
Sounds like
made the
LOLA
mistake one
tournaments.
time of duoing with this other diamond because you could bring one other person. So me and this diamond support duoed, and I played jungle, and we got the shittiest team imaginable. And he was playing fucking support. So I was like, what are we gonna do at that point? And that's kind of exactly what you're describing.
Supports
is-
aren't as broken as they are right now. So
yeah. Well, that was back in like whatever season jungle was shitty, and
season 10.
no, this was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, season
So-
10's pretty bad.
We're in
So,
season 7.
so I remember whenever I played in a tournament with Ponderous once, and I was playing support and he played jungle, and then he won Dreamcast tickets, ran off with them, didn't pay me for them, and never bought Mario Tennis to play with me.
Yeah, and how much do you play Mario Tennis now, Blake?
I don't play it at all because I don't have anybody to fucking play with, Ponderous, you fucking
We don't
asshole!
even play Smash Bros together.
You were the only one I knew, and you said you
were
would buy
the
it.
only one.
You were supposed to be the
You
chosen
were
one.
the chosen one.
It was
Remember when
always supposed
I had
to
the
be
higher
you.
ground.
Well, that wasn't sad at all.
Ran off with my Dreamcast tickets. So, actually, I take it back. You know what? I forgive you. Those were the actions of Egon Hair Ponderous, not
Yeah.
New Ponderous.
You weren't gonna
New
go to
Ponderous,
Dream.
he's an upstanding gentleman.
You
Look
don't
at
even
how
know what it
clean
is,
cut
by
he
the way. It's
is.
not Dreamcast. It's DreamHack. That's a Sega console. This was
I
an
don't
event.
care, man. I would have played Dreamcast at DreamHack. They probably had one.
They did.
I would have brought one. It
was
would have
kinda
had
lame.
Mario fucking Tennis on it. Would have played the shit out of it.
On the
Actually,
Sega
would have had
Dreamcast.
Crazy Taxi on it because that game was on Dreamcast.
League of Legends podcast.
Anyway,
Yeah. Well, whatever.
no, I get very
Yeah.
few opportunities to publicly bitch at Ponderous for stealing my DreamHack.
You have
Yeah,
plenty of
and you never
opportunities.
take the opportunities that
Son
you're
of a bitch.
presented. You're such a gentleman about
That's
it.
true. I have forgiven and
Cocksmother.
forgotten this. You are correct.
God damn it.
Anyway, all
So
right.
who here
So,
watched the GGS games?
what, Golden Guardians?
Yeah.
I was under the impression that Golden Guardians went down harder than Kobe's chopper.
Okay, so Danger.
Too soon.
Who did you
Too
think?
soon? Is that?
No reaction. You do you, Blake.
Oh.
I'd like you to know that Blake decided to do this podcast all on his own.
Hey, this
And
was the extra
all
long
jokes-
episode, so
all
we got
jokes will
time.
be referenced by Blake and Blake alone.
What? You can't. It was a tragedy. Anyway, go on.
You should have him cut that from the episode.
Oh, whatever. Do you think people are really all that sensitive about Kobe's chopper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, all right.
So
I'm
what?
gonna do
You
this
say
for the rest of the episode.
If you say so,
Just for myself.
fine.
What did you think of the Golden Guardian games, Danger?
I thought they looked really bad. Is that
You-
what you're looking
You
for?
didn't see any highlights?
No.
Okay,
How
I
did
thought
Keith
Closer
do?
was actually really good.
Who?
Closer?
Oh, okay. You know that's fair. Yeah, I agree.
And
Actually.
Golden Glue looked better than I expected him to look.
That just doesn't mean anything, though.
Did Golden Glue look better than Poe Belter would have?
Well, I don't know, because Poe
You know
Volter's
what?
last bit was awful. So
Always hated Pole Belter, so fuck Pole Belter. I
But
think
yeah,
I
he's
really think
terrible.
Golden Glue though is better than Golden Glue, who has been a perennial non-performer, is better than
How
Poe
is
Belter.
Golden? Okay, how the fuck is Golden Glue even still in the LCS? Somebody
Thank you.
explain that to me.
wait, he's
No one
just
can
back
explain
into
it to
the
you.
LCS.
Only in fucking NA do these goddamn non-talents stick around for so
Yeah.
fucking long. I don't give a shit about sports E or otherwise, but what the fuck are they doing? He sucked when I was good at this game. That was so long ago. How is he still in LCS if he hasn't gotten any better?
He's been in Academy for like 3 years.
That's bad. That's not the point of Academy.
Oh,
It's like
it is
saying
the
that
point
you're
of
a
Academy.
career minor league baseball player. Like, okay,
the
fine,
point of
you're
NA
better than the
Academy.
average person, but you still suck in the grand scheme of things.
He didn't look bad. The FBI and Keith looked atrocious, and I don't know how you can play the game when
Did
you're
you say
bot
the
lane.
FBI?
Yeah.
His name is FBI.
Yeah.
He-
Dumb.
But yeah, I think Closer looked really fucking good for what he had.
yes, I agree. Actually, yeah, I
Really
guess I kind of blacked out during the games, but when he got a huge lead. He was playing very smart. He was picking on who was it in the jungle that he was fucking up?
In which game?
Um,
I'm
the
assuming
first
not-
that was the one where he played J4 and he was like he stole the red and then he went wrapped around and then caught him at wolves so that he wasn't doing it shit.
Oh, Gromp.
100 Thieves game.
Yeah, I think
He beat Gromp. That's what you're thinking of.
oh yes, thank you. That's helpful.
Sometimes I wonder, like, why I even am willing to do episodes with Blake. Like,
I mean, this is literally what I do. Like, this is my
know.
role in the podcast. So
The real question is why you would do an episode with me and Blake.
that's also a good point. You knew you were in for it.
I just needed more time with Ponderous, and if I had to bite the bullet and have to spend time with Blake, then I just have to do it.
I feel like it's a win-win.
So I think I picked the right team for this season, by the way, by going with 100 Thieves instead of TSM.
Oh, why is this?
100 Thieves is 1-1, and TSM is 0-2.
NA.
Clearly
It's a true
nothing will
clash of
change.
titans in this
But
region.
I think Ryoma is experiencing some very large LCS stage nerves because he did not look super fantastic.
Ryoma didn't look terrible. You mean right? That's what you mean by not super fantastic.
Yeah.
He looked fucking awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was like painful to watch. He was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine him looking any worse. So
Like
Damn, that was matter of fact.
here's the
Fucking
real
brutal.
question.
Yeah, no,
though.
Penguin doesn't pull punches, man. He just slaps them with his rubbery flippers. And just
Penguin don't
that's
got
where you
time
went
for
with
that
that.
shit.
So danger.
Yes.
Now, if you were 100 Thieves, how many games do you play before you put Saligo back in?
God, that's a terrible question.
Like, do you want like the semi-dry dog shit or like the
No,
still
you know
fresh
what? I
dog
never
shit?
put Saligo back in. I just don't. That's fucking terrible.
You just roll it out with Ryoma?
Yeah.
I think that's the
I mean,
plan.
I try and find someone else to be perfectly honest with you, but
Well, I think
my
I think
choice.
at this point, so apparently 100 Thieves went under the budget that Papa was allowed, which is good because now hopefully next year you can just open up and get a new import mid, like a good one from EU, and then the roster's good.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
yeah, if they haven't been completely
Where have I heard
demoralized.
that before about an NA team?
Okay,
Once
but
we
think
can get another import, then the team will be good.
Yeah, I've heard that about
Wait.
every NA team that has ever
I heard that
existed.
somewhere before.
Someday becomes resident next split as well, so that opens up both their import slots, so they could replace Stunt too.
You could put 5
Okay.
fucking Koreans on
Even though
one
actually-
team, and they'd still find a way to fuck it up because it's NA.
LMQ
like-
did it.
I
They
mean,
had
who,
Yeah,
5
well, they were
Chinese.
Chinese, but close enough.
who was? I
Close
mean,
enough.
no. There's been talk about this on Twitter where they're talking about how I don't even know why I play NA solo queue because I learn nothing. Like I get worse at League of Legends by playing NA solo queue. I think Bang's the one who said it this week, but a lot of them have said that over the course of time. Is like because you're in NA, you can't get better at the game. So you come in at the best you'll be, and then you're gonna get worse if you're an import.
Yeah,
That's basically what
obviously.
they say.
So
You've got dipshit Master Yi one tricks that can make it to the top percentage of the ladder. I mean, it's not a competitive environment. I played against pro players in solo queue. Like, I played Master Yi against them. Do you think they were taking anything away from those games? Fuck no. Like, even at like I've heard the difference between Diamond 2 and NA and Diamond 2 in like Korea, because people will act like bronze Korea equaled NA Diamond. Like, that's fucking stupid. But I've heard the difference between like NA Diamond 2 and Korean Diamond 2, or even like EU Diamond 2 is massive, like ridiculously massive. And I don't even know what the fuck you do at this point. We're 10 seasons in and it's still a shit show. Like, what the fuck do you even do at that point?
What do? You accept your fate and don't pretend like NA is going to ever compete on a national stage, and then just find like local teams that you want to root for. I think that's all. I think that's the only thing that really matters.
honestly, here's the sad point. Like, I actually don't think it's impossible to become relevant as a region, but it's going to be a lot like like a minor region where you have one good team and you just hope to God that
So if we work really, really hard, we can eventually become Taiwan. Wow,
But
that's
that
fantastic.
that was Team Liquid last year. Team Liquid last year was all of the best NA had to offer, and
No,
what
here's-
did we have to show for it?
here's
All I
the
fucking
thing.
remember, the last time I gave a shit about any NA team was when TSM, the Group of Life, whatever fucking worlds that was. I don't remember if it was season 7, season 8, season
As
6.
every
One of
time
those.
TSM has been to Worlds lately.
Yes,
And
they've
I
had
looked
the
at
easiest
it.
possible group.
It was the easiest possible group they
always
could have
do
gotten.
that.
I looked at it and I'm like, they're not making it out of groups. I made that prediction before Worlds even started. I told everyone they're not making it out of groups. What the fuck happened? They don't make it out of groups because this region is awful.
So you know what League needs to do? So since Spring Split is now useless from the format change, you take out Spring Split and you just do like actual tournaments throughout the country like CS:GO does. CS:GO has majors. So then like your actual top teams are constantly playing against the other top teams from other regions, and like NA actually improves because NA doesn't have the luxury of playing actually good solo queue.
But none of the other regions would ever agree to it because they don't need to do that shit. So
It's not going to hurt them either.
it's not gonna help them.
It's not going to hurt them.
Yeah, it
Any-
would. The
if
travel and
anything-
shit. That'd be terrible.
Korea already travels every weekend.
In Korea, it's like the
Yeah.
size of Michigan.
Travel.
Oh no,
Like-
I have to go from Grand Rapids to fucking Detroit. Oh, that sounds easy.
Oh my god.
You're driving.
Wait, do I still have 20 ping? Yeah, because this country I could throw a rock and hit the other side. You know, it's fine.
I actually
No.
think
If
on
I'm
the-
any other region, I say fuck you, NA. You're always gonna be trash. Let's rock and roll.
on the
NA pros
topic
are
of
never going to
ping-
be good. They play on 70 ping.
I actually think that that's a bigger factor than people realize. Like,
Like no one like Perks came over for Rift Rivals last year and said, "How the fuck do you play solo queue on this?
yeah, it's
Like, how are you supposed to be motivated to play when you don't even have like a good situation?" to
I
play?
remember when before the server change, when the servers were like super fucked for that like season. I'm in Texas and I was getting about 100 ping consistently, and like I learned to play around it, and then they moved the server and it dropped down to like 45, and the difference was actually staggering. Like
Oh, it's
couldn't
insane. I used to play
believe
on
that we used to play on
120,
100.
and then they moved it to Chicago, and I'm in Michigan, and it's like fucking boom, 20. I get like 21 ping now. It's a
And
whole.
aren't all the LCS teams still in LA?
Yep.
Yeah.
Playing, like 70
Okay. For reference, I found a middle-aged man that walked across South Korea in 15 days. He doesn't appear to be in great health. He is not young. And some of this looks mountainous. And he managed to walk across in 15 days.
in a fortnight. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen.
So yeah, I don't think their travel schedule is that fucking rigorous.
I don't know. I think honestly, it's better for the league as a whole, like every region, because you're playing the top You're playing top competitors from like Korea now gets to play against
I think
EU.
more international tournaments in general would be a good idea.
like Spring Split's already useless. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean they've ruined Spring Split. I agree. You're gonna learn a lot this season because you're gonna find out just how fucking worthless Spring Split is. Which is great. You know, none of the teams are gonna try, and then they're gonna say, "Hey, we weren't trying," and then they're gonna show up in Summer Split and suck and be like, "Oh, now we're trying. We just
We
still
should
suck."
have tried.
Like, it's so bad. It's so awful because you're in a situation like I don't know how.
You're
Okay,
pained.
so I'm in
How
school
are you
right
gonna,
now.
how are you
Right?
gonna
Hold
make
on.
NA better?
I'm in school right now, right? I'm in school for game design. And my first class is like creative presentation. It's really gay, but like my project is I have to like pitch myself to a company for a problem that I can fix. So I'm pitching myself to Riot on how to fix NA,
You
right?
should probably avoid calling their problems gay. I'll just give you that.
Have you
Or,
talked about your 200 plus years of solo queue experience shared
Yeah,
between
there's
the
that.
members
You
of
can
the
always
LOLA
do that.
podcast?
And yeah, well, I definitely left LOLA podcast out of the presentation, so I don't have to worry about it.
I'm offended.
Yeah,
That's
and
ridiculous.
that's a huge,
I mean,
huge mistake.
if you don't want to succeed, We have
It's
like
not about what you know; it's about who you know.
yeah, we have like
Astros.
5 whole rioters that watch this show.
Okay, so here's like a
So
legitimate question for you guys because I haven't really proposed it to anyone.
yeah,
But how mad would you be if the pro
Furious.
level of game was on its own individual patch that is less frequent? So every month you accumulate the patches from solo queue and you put them in all at once.
Why would I give a shit?
Well, some people, so like the few people I've talked
I'm
about,
not playing pro.
well, yeah. Well, a few of the people I've talked to was like, well, I want to be on the same patch the pro players are on. And I was like, I don't really see how that's really beneficial or like
okay.
interesting in any way.
Because
Well-
they're the one. Because those are the fucking people that would pick Tristana and start rocket jump and go run all the way over to the enemy base and then place the ward behind their tier 2 turret so they could see if the enemy team is lane swapping in silver fucking solo queue. They don't think critically. What their opinions don't matter. They don't need to play on the same fucking patch as pros.
So
Only the top 1% of 1% of players even need to think about playing on the same patch as pros. It's a fucking non-issue.
So
Doesn't
here's like another like reason. One, your pros aren't forced to learn a new patch every 2 weeks. So your team should technically become more consistent and better overall.
If their patches weren't so shitty in general, they could just patch the game less full stop. But they are incapable of fucking reaching any sort of meaningful equilibrium with their game balance. So they have to fucking keep
Like, okay.
dumping sand back into this other container.
So to me, it's like
Time.
Riot is like, you know that trap where you'll put something delicious in the inside of a hollow coconut and a monkey will stick its hand in there and grab it, and then they can't pull their hand out because their fist is now too
Larger.
big for the hole in the coconut, and it gets stuck, and then they won't let go of whatever the fruit is, and then they get stuck there, right? It's like Riot with game design is they reach in, they get an idea, and they're like, we really like this. This is gonna be our thing. They stick their hand in the fucking coconut and they grab onto it, and they go, fuck! Our hand is stuck in this fucking coconut. How do we even break the coconut, cut down the tree, nuke the forest? But we got our piece of banana, boys. And you're like, you could just undo your hand. It's a bad fucking idea. Nope. This one banana, we are going to eat half of it,
Bro,
plant the other half, and
Do
make a banana grove.
do you realize that Dota has one guy? Dota has one fucking guy that does what an entire team at Riot does.
Right,
One guy
because-
does.
Because that one guy set up coconut traps in the office, and all the other programmers got stuck and couldn't work.
They're
Yeah.
just walking around with 2 fucking coconuts.
They
on
didn't
their
get
hand.
anything. They didn't
Yeah,
get
they
anything
can't type
done,
the
so they
code.
sent him over to Riot. And they're like, there you go.
They're just-
Riot just bought big keyboards that you could type on with coconut hands. You know,
They've
See,
got
they
2
solved
buttons
the
on their
problem.
keyboard. They've
That's
got the
next level
stupid idea
stress.
button and they've got the good idea button, and they keep fucking missing and hitting
Yeah.
the stupid idea button with their giant coconut hands.
the giant
God, I
fucking
hate this
dumbass coconut hands. But no, like that's the kind of way. Like whenever you have coconuts stuck on your hands, that's how you critically solve that Scion problem, where his E did too much damage, so we
Oh my
nerfed
God.
his Q.
Don't fucking.
Yeah, that's a
Where the fuck
coconut
is
hand
Aiden? I'm gonna
solution
kick his
right
ass
there.
right now. He's Canadian, right?
I don't know.
I'm
what
flying
the
up to
fuck.
Canada. I'm gonna beat his ass for that disagreement like 3
So,
years
like,
ago.
Honestly, another thing you can do is you create a private server for the pros, so when they're not scrimming, they can all just queue with each other. So it's better solo queue with lower.
What the fuck is this actual solution oriented to?
Well, okay, so here's my
No,
problem.
actually, I think that's a pretty good idea.
I'm going to advocate for the devil.
Are you
so-
calling me the devil or Riot?
No. It's a
He's
term.
playing devil's
brah.
advocate.
Devil's advocate, bro. So here's how this is gonna work. Problem: pros will not be experienced in solo queue. They won't be exposed to it, and therefore they won't take any innovation from it. You'll have a meta shift. Like mid Timo a couple of years ago, that High played is something he picked up that was effective in solo queue and took it into an LCS game. There are countless times that strategies like that have been impacted and then made their way successfully into the LCS. The funneling strategy
Ugh.
that I know, But the funneling strategy that dominated a couple of years ago
Did we ever
was a
funnel,
solo
Blake?
queue original.
And
Did
you
we
What?
funnel?
healthy for the
Did you and me
Uh,
funnel together?
One time before it got nerfed. Yeah.
So
It's
legit.
back now. If it makes you feel
Yeah, it's
better.
back. They can't
That
kill
doesn't
it.
make me feel better.
No, it doesn't make anyone fucking feel better. It's goddamn miserable.
So like legitimately, you think stuff like mid Teemo and funnel is healthy for the pro scene?
I
I don't
think
think anything
innovation.
in NA you can call healthy for the pro scene.
Exactly. Like, so at what point does
Whether it
separating?
be the players or
Oh, no, back up.
I mean,
I don't think segregating your player base and like we have like the rest of America and then we have the Galapagos Islands where the pros play and like all
It
the
shouldn't
birds
even
develop
matter.
beautiful plumage. I
Like
don't
we're
think I don't think that that's going to happen. I think what's more than likely going to happen
well,
is it's going to cause stagnation, but will be a better practice environment. I
well, the
think
thing
that
is, I mean, even if you had these custom servers, you're still running on the assumption because look at how long the queues are for high level NA solo queue. That's just like regular solo queue open to everyone. So you could run into players from Diamond 2 all the way up to rank 1 in
Mhm.
that environment. And look at how long those queue times are. And then shrink that even exponentially further to where it's only open to what, like 70 players or something. If you're saying it's just pros, and I mean, if you include academy players too, it'd be like what 120
Well,
players tops.
each roster is harvesting 10 players max or 10 players minimal between academy and LCS.
That's between
So
academy and LCS.
so yeah, you're looking at 100 players.
So 100 players, there's no way that that's going to be. I don't think that by creating that server, you're creating an environment where the pro players are only playing on that server. They're
Well,
probably still
usually
going to
your
be
pro
playing
players
solo
are on the
queue.
same scrim schedules. Usually pro players are getting out of scrims at the same time.
Right. I'm saying that
yes, but what I'm getting at
there's
is
still
so they
not going to
get
be
out of
standardization.
scrims. Scrims are exactly what you're talking about though.
But
Like
they're not.
they're not playing solo queue, they're scrimming together, which
But
is
you can't like
essentially pro player only practice.
the only way solo queue right now is actually worth it for pros is if you fix the ping. And they're not gonna fix the ping. So either you
I
move
don't think
LCS
I
closer to
think
the
that you're
server or
both
you move the
right.
server back to LA.
Like I don't think I think that having a low ping environment for them to play on consistently is a good idea, but I also think that if you implement that, that doesn't mean that that's exclusively where they're going to play. Maybe it would. Maybe once they get to that low ping, they're willing to wait an hour to play
I don't even think
every
you'd have to
game.
wait an hour. Like
But you wouldn't think that now with what that 1,000 players in the upper echelon, you wouldn't think there would be high queue times, but there are. Like
Well,
the
okay,
queue
well, I
so
think
times.
solo
I think
queue's
it'd be
different.
much more likely to solve your problems by moving everybody up to fucking Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, and tell
Or
that to 100 thieves who just spent $32 or $32 million on a complex in LA.
Or
Like
fucking open a second server. You're a goddamn billion-dollar company. Like, you can't do a West and East
yeah,
Coast server?
no.
well then
Our
you're
player
splitting
base is
you
like
split your
an
player base.
eighth of the size of Europe. That's why all of our players suck. You know, we're tiny in comparison to China. We are
The problem is
not Korean
land-wise,
enough
we're too
for
big.
Korea.
That's the big issue. Is land-wise, we
Yeah,
need.
we're fucking enormous, but we're also not densely populated like those other places.
Well, that's the problem. You're densely populated in the complete opposite points. So your coasts are heavily populated. So unless you put the server directly in the middle and you're just splitting the difference and saying both your coasts are playing on 40 to 50 ping, like that doesn't really give either coast like a big advantage. And the best play, like the players who luck out the most are your smaller player bases in the middle of the US. And
Your
like
Cassville residents, for
yeah,
example.
like Blake will be playing on 3 ping and still be blaming me as AD carry and plat. Like
No, I play on 17 ping and blame my AD carry and plat. Actually,
I
I'm
wish
blaming
I
my
could.
AD carry in gold right now, thanks to my placements. So we're doing great.
I leave for 2 months. What happens
Meteoric
to you?
fall.
Blake
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake never made it past plat last season. That's
Neither
No,
did
I was
so
plat 150 LP, and then I played in the last month of ranked.
he just
And
didn't
just
duo with me. Danger spent time doing it with me, and he ended higher than Blake. So I think there's just a direct correlation between playing with Astros and not playing with Astros.
Well, to be fair,
Hmm.
like Danger seems to have like a tolerance for horse shit that's like way better than mine.
So it's a life of horse shit. It really prepares you for League of Legends.
Yeah.
Blake, if you play with me, you wouldn't get so mad at the rest of your team in solo queue. Just
Because I
saying.
have a target for my rage that's
You have-
accessible.
You'd have a
or what?
lightning rod, Blake.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
Everyone
That's
knows
what you
lightning rods are
need.
there for a reason.
You're
Danger
shooting too
uses
much
it-
lightning.
Danger has learned to talk shit with me, but we talk shit through
Yeah, that's
mic,
healthy.
so I don't have to type it.
Right, I have to keep him from typing. As soon as I start hearing, I'm like, well, this game's over. So, might as well-
See, that would do it for
GG,
me
go
right
next.
there. It would be like, okay, I can't. Like, you gotta at least try to the end.
Like
Like-
when he's raging against the Teemo jungle who's 1-7. I'm like, no matter what you say to him, it can't be worse than what he's already doing to himself. So,
Well, like, so for example,
At that point, it doesn't matter. It just straight up doesn't matter. No matter what I say, he could AFK, and it's more beneficial because now Cassidon isn't getting free gold and XP for killing him over it.
no, I mean, what I'll say is, like, I used to do it with Ponderous. Ponderous was a bitch. He liked to bitch a lot. Like, that was his thing. He would bitch a lot. And that was fine. But, like,
that was
Ponderous.
fine.
No, I can deal with that. I'm a good bitch reservoir. I can take it in and just hold it, and it doesn't really affect me too much. And so, like, I don't tilt off bitching, and that's fine. So it worked out well. But then, like, he would get to typing, and like, when he would type, it would be just like hilariously scathing commentary that goes way too far. And I'm like, oh shit, this game's
What was
done.
It was that Pike that I got chat restricted for flaming.
Well, there was the Draven too, the Draven jungle that you told to stick a fork in an electrical outlet.
Well, I
Forgot
can
about
tell you the Syndra from your last game, or your second to last game, Blake, is definitely going to get a chat restriction.
Oh yeah, the one that was like, kill yourself, kill your
Oh, wait,
family.
don't kill yourself. I hope you live long enough to have kids and they kill themselves.
Right, that was it. That was it. That was from my placements this time around, by the way.
Okay,
So they're
okay.
going
God.
great. My Kled goes 0-2, decides he's done playing League. He's going to jungle now while we have a jungler because the jungle pushed his lane
Yep.
and failed a gank or something. And I'm like, okay, so let's talk about this. At the time, I'm going to break this down. We're going to switch topics. Now we're talking about solo queue boils.
We were really
bullshit.
we were gonna send this clip to Riot on how to fix NA, and now we're
And
just,
they were going to listen because they're very good at taking constructive feedback.
Yeah,
we're all men, so they'll respect us as a company.
that's true. They have
can't-
to listen to
They
us.
can't
We have-
sexually harass us all, boys.
Yeah, we have 4 men. If we didn't lose them when Astro said gay earlier, I mean, I think they may have just cut
No,
it
we
off
did
right.
lose them, actually. That's the
Yeah.
joke of it all.
In room 203.
Yo, cut that.
This
Cut
did
that.
not go over well.
There, now it's
So-
not it.
So anyway, yeah. So placements. 3 of my games so far have been like that, where I've had somebody literally explode, quit, rage out, doesn't want to play, acts a fool, game
Act
ends.
a fool.
Yo, I've only tilted in 2 of my games so far.
You're quiet as fuck, Astros.
Yeah,
I've
you were
only
super
tilted
quiet.
in 2 of my games so far, so everyone should be very proud of me. They were both with Danger. We had the Teemo jungle, and then I was 2-0 on Yas at level 3. We had a Zac jungle, and he never came to my lane. Why are you playing Zac jungle and not ganking Yasuo?
That's a good point.
Why are you playing Zac
So,
jungle in season 10?
Anyway, backing out. So yeah, placement's going terrible, and I get a guy that wants to troll, and his biggest bitch, the thing that set him off like none other, was that the jungler failed a gank, and then pushed his lane in. So this is indicative to me of a mentality that is not a problem for like should never be a problem for you because this placement occurred while I was seated in silver 1. Okay? Let me tell you about something that will never
Blake's
happen.
true rank.
Okay. Let me tell you about something that will never happen in silver 1. Wave control will never make the difference in that game. 1 wave lost will never determine the outcome of that game.
Bro, Blake, you don't
Like-
understand. League of Legends is a game of inches. I heard that one time on a Twitch stream, I think. So if they lose that wave, their lane is pretty much gone at that
So
point.
obviously
the
Blake
game's
has never
over.
watched.
I mean,
Blake has never watched the Shinshin. That wave is the utmost important thing.
well, no, hold
in the
up.
world.
You're
real
not
quick,
you're
real
not
quick.
understanding me. I think at Challenger Elo, where wave positioning and control can literally determine when and if you are able to CS, or your jungler will gank, or you're overexposed, or
People can actually perma-freeze on you.
people can actually permafreeze on you. That actually can end a game. But this isn't
Yes.
that. This is silver, where people just shoot shit for no reason and push a lane.
Well, you were
Right,
probably
like-
playing like legitimately. You were probably playing with a lot of plats from last season, so they should have some brains. Because
That's
everyone
not been
got
my experience thus far. I
Well,
think I
then-
missed the window for that when my graphics card exploded, because I wanted to play then when the plats were still around.
you didn't have a graphics card for like 3 or 4 days. The window
Yeah.
was much larger than 3 to 4 days.
Windows
There's a big
fucking
miss.
closed. Anyway,
Let's
The
go.
window's been since the beginning. Like
there is no window. Now I'm knocking on a door, and that door has a bunch of shady people on the other side with drugs and knives and hatred of
Could
me.
you extend this metaphor any further?
No, I got nothing.
He's tapped. Thanks for asking.
I can make another chopper reference if it helps. So this metaphor is falling faster. No, okay. Anyway, here we go.
Pass.
The reality of the situation is the things that people choose to bitch about and set them off. My whole point is that that is never something that's going to determine the outcome of a game at this level. It will determine the outcome of a game or a lane, not even a game, a lane in Challenger. You're not there. You're not doing the things that matter that will determine whether or not that wave stays here, or it gets permafroze somewhere along those lines.
Okay, but quick question. I am a silver player in this position. I have really good macro, but my micro is lacking. What do I do then?
Good question.
My recommendation is stop playing the Riven that you're playing and play Garen.
And Garen will reward my
Your
my
macro,
my
skill.
macro proficiency.
Yes.
Blake
So-
just goes to sleep every time I ask that question.
I'm gonna pull this down like a sleep mask right there. So anyway,
A lot better. Viewership went up when Blake covered his face.
yeah, this is people could look at the screen again without being dazzled. You know, they didn't have
Well,
to
no,
put
Ponderous is
sunglasses
still on here.
to counter my radiance. So anyway, here's the deal. I don't like half of the stuff that people shut down over is just an emotional tantrum. It's not legit rational excuse.
Let's talk about that with me
Okay.
and you. How many times have we been playing and something stupid happens and I'm like, this game is fucking over, and then you're like, no, it's not. This is X Elo that we're playing in, and then sure enough, 5 minutes later, the game completely turns around because it's so weird because the expectation is like, okay, this game is now in a position that would be pretty much unwinnable if the enemy team did everything right from here on out.
Not
And
even
they never
everything.
do.
Not even
Never.
everything right. Just most of the things
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
They don't even get like 40% of it correct ever. Like
This
no
is the
team will
problem
ever
with
correctly
NA.
close out a game in silver. It's never
This
gonna
is why
happen.
we need to fix NA.
Well, I mean, like the reality is, it's at some point if you just wait around long enough, they will gift wrap you opportunity.
I did
Yeah.
that in the Teemo game when we had the Teemo jungle. I didn't FF, and that opportunity never came. So, Blake, I honestly think you're lying to me.
I mean, granted, there may be one out of a million games, and that may have been your Teemo jungle game. It should be one out of a million if you were playing Teemo jungle. But-
Didn't FF the Zach game either, and that game never
I mean,
turned
yeah,
around either.
realistically, there's always almost an opportunity to come back unless you're, in my place.
Well, your team is idiots too. Enemy team is idiots. Your team is idiots, and you're an idiot. So
right.
there's 10 idiots at any given
10
point.
idiots, and it's like you can
Anything can
smash your
happen.
face on the
10
keyboard.
idiots walk
something can
into a
happen.
league game.
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah.
Just full
Literally-
stop. 10 idiots
But I
walk into a
mean,
league game.
like, I
They're
get
still playing
still,
League of
to
Legends in
get-
the year
to-
2020.
Yeah, to get back to my point.
Fuck your point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
thanks.
I don't know. I don't understand.
No, I mean to get
Oh,
back
we
to
already
my
hit the point that every game is winnable.
Well,
Don't
no,
talk.
it's. I mean, that's not the only thing. So, like, don't get set off on stupid things because that's the one way you are absolutely going to guarantee that you lose, right? Like, is if you let your mental state degrade to a point where you start playing badly, then you have guaranteed you're going to lose. You create a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it only causes you to mentally spiral.
Yeah.
Like,
Can I rebuttal this?
Yeah, sure.
Me typing that you fucking suck shouldn't make you now int my game. I think everyone should be a big boy in NA and not whine when I type that you suck.
Well, they
okay.
should, but are you going to take responsibility for their actions? Are you going to be the adult in that conversation and do that? And I'm not saying that you always have to or that I always do it, but Blake can attest to this. When I'm serious about climbing, I don't type shit to anyone. Like when I'm really serious about climbing, like when I really try harded, I don't type anything that's not constructive to anyone. Because the problem is that when I get pissed off at League, the most fun thing for me becomes flaming other people who deserve it, who totally deserve
No,
whatever I give to them.
I will tell you this: he is not a angry typing flamer that just picks on some asshole. Like
He finds the
he
asshole.
finds the guy, stabs the knife, and then
I found my
twists the
asshole.
shit out of it. But that
Yeah.
guy has a shirt that says "Stab me, I like it, I deserve it," you know, and that's the guy he picks.
Yeah,
So
and yeah, like I'm not indiscriminately flailing at everyone in the game.
right.
But
Well, I'm not
my
either.
point is like when my point is like, why are you playing solo queue? How serious about winning are you? Because I know from personal experience that I have different levels of seriousness that I play at. And you have to be brutally honest with yourself about what level you're actually at. What mental state are you in right now? Are you in a fucking winner's mentality where winning is your sole focus? It's not about your pride. It's not about your ego. You're not doing it for the rank. You're doing it because you want to fucking win this game that's right in front of you of League of Legends solo queue. When you get to that state, you realize that all the flaming and all the bullshit falls away. But when you're any lower than that state, when your pride and your ego are still a factor, then that's when the flaming comes into play, and you can lie to yourself and say, yeah, I'm serious about winning, but you're not, because you're doing something that's actively causing your team's morale to tank. Whether or not they should take what you're saying seriously or not, we're operating in the real world. And in the real world, when you say shit to people, they get emotional, they respond, and they have a reaction to it. So if you're serious about winning, you don't type it in the first place. You don't say shit to them because you treat them as if you're dealing with a child. Because first of all, you might actually be that person that you're flaming might be 13 years old. I got flamed when I was 13. They could literally be a child. And the other thing is, even if they're not literally a child, they might be mentally still just completely undeveloped. Why would you try to have an argument with someone like that? There's no winning that. You're just decreasing. The more time you spend typing, the less likely you are to win. Don't fucking waste your time. Be serious about winning if you're going to be serious about winning. And if you're not going to be serious about winning, that's fine. You can still operate in that 60, 70, 80% range. That's totally acceptable. You don't have to try hard every single game. That'll burn you out. But be honest with yourself. If you're going to flame people, because I flame people all the time. And I know that when I flame people, it's because I'm not being serious enough about winning.
Ponderous leaves League, gets 10 times more handsome, and has opened his third eye. Like,
God damn it.
my man's speaking like hard truth bombs here.
Thank you.
But like, the only thing I have to say is like, EU literally just calls everyone dogs, and they still have a more productive like play style where even if I call you
But
a dog, you're
talking about
playing.
an aggregate. I'm talking about on an individual level. Like,
well, yeah, but like I think like another big problem is like like half of NA shuts down the second you tell them, like the second you type like what the fuck was that?
Again, that's true, but what are you gonna do about that? Are you gonna fix that problem? Are you gonna
I
make
don't
it so
think
that
that
people aren't so sensitive, or
He's
are
gonna
you gonna
change the fucking world.
I
yeah, or
don't
are you
even
gonna
care so
operate within the framework that's in front of
There you
you,
go.
which is where
What-
okay, people will whine if I call
What
them
the
a
fuck
name.
is that? Oh, I guess I should improve. Thank you, friend. That's never gonna happen.
it's
So,
not even like
like, that is literally the most unlikely outcome of everything.
There's probably a million reasons why EU players are better. Flaming is like number 17 on that list. Okay, it's not a factor. They would be just as
I'm
good if
not
they didn't
saying
flame
I'm not
people.
saying it's a factor. I'm saying like how come I can like call you a fucking moron and get banned even though you
But
ran
see,
it down
you're
in my
still
game?
operating in the should realm, which is where most people are operating from. You're operating in the people should do this, people should do that, right?
People
Should do
shouldn't
this.
int my games. I
Exactly,
agree.
and I've
And I
done that.
shouldn't get punished for
And that's
calling them a
part of why I
moron.
don't play League of Legends, is because it puts me in that mindset. But if you are serious about winning, it's not about, okay, this is how it should be. It's, okay, this is the framework that currently exists. How am I going to be most effective inside of it? Because I can't change the culture of League of Legends. I can't change what Riot deems to be ban worthy. I can't make this inter stop inting, and I can't make Riot ban him. What do I have control over? I have control over what I do in the game, and I have control over what I type and say in the game. That's it. Those are the only things that you can actually control. You can yell at Riot on Twitter all you want. I've done it before. I've done all this shit. That's why I'm able to tell you not to do it, because it's a fucking waste of time. And if you want, and if you're just doing it to do it, that's fine. If you want to waste your time in that way, I've spent more time than anyone listening wasting my time in this specific manner. It can be fun to rag on Riot. That's the half of the fun of doing this stupid fucking podcast, is yelling at how stupid Riot is. But at the end of the day, I know that out of all the hours of footage that I've recorded bashing on Riot, none of it has mattered 1% and none of it has actually improved League of Legends in any meaningful way. So why fucking bother? If you really want to get better and you really want to win, just focus on yourself. I know you've heard that a million times before. Everyone says it because it's fucking true. Like, you really can't control what anyone else does. And what someone else should or should not be doing is not something that you have control over. So don't say should, because that's just the tip off that you are no longer serious about winning. If you're saying this is what should be happening, then you're not playing the game in front of you. You're playing this weird hypothetical game in your head that doesn't exist, where everyone's in your silver game is really good for some reason. Like, what the fuck? That's not
They're not.
realistic, you know?
Thinking
Newsflash.
anyone in NA is good is just
Exactly.
not factually sound. It's a false statement.
Don't be a little bitch, is what I'm trying to say. Like, what the fuck are you wearing?
What?
What are you wearing?
Oh, it's called a headache hat. So it's like ice cubes that are frozen into this device.
It looks like something that Ice Cube would actually wear, to be completely honest with you.
It is. It's Ice Cube brand. Yeah. Which actually he should sponsor these things. He'd make a fucking fortune. Anyway, but no, it's.
I don't think he would. I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because
cool.
Ice Cube isn't promoting it.
Yeah.
No,
Duh.
because medicine is a thing. Like
No, check it
ice
out.
isn't going to fix your headache.
It totally does, though. So, check it out. Ice cubes sewn into a material. It melts as it's on your head. Then you put it in and bam, it's ice cubes again. Just like that. Every time. Every time.
60%
60% of the time it works every time.
Ponderous,
Yeah.
the next time you go to his house, I need you to like take a needle and pop every single one of the ice cube bags.
Why would you attack a man's headache hat? It's
'Cause you
rude.
look
Why would you go and do something fucking insane like that?
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
rude, man.
Sorry, let me
See,
just
here's the thing,
grab
you
my
can-
psychopath kit.
Yeah, you
I,
can
I bought a
actually-
starter kit on Amazon because I kind of wanted to ease myself into it.
See, so you can actually just pull it down like this right over the eyes, and puts
I
a
kind of
nice
want
little
one, honestly.
cold pressure
Is it like
there.
wearing a weighted blanket around your head?
Yeah, but the weighted blanket's really cold. So yeah,
kind of want one.
it's really nice.
Jesus Christ.
But like right now, I've had a splitting headache this whole podcast, and right now, this is feeling great.
Is that a
I
subtle
think
dig at me
It
and
looks
or
dumb as
Astros?
hell. I'll give you that. I'm not wearing it out to town. This is not going to be my like I'm going to wear whatever the
Clubbing
fuck
outfit?
this thing is to court.
so.
Yeah.
I wear a beanie on live recording, and I
Mhm.
get roasted for it. This man
Mhm.
wraps ice cubes around his head in a sewn contraption,
Device, right.
and
It's a medical
expects-
device. You're being insensitive.
Quite.
You know, make
It's
fun of a
not.
kid for his crutches, Astros? Like, there had a whole fucking Christmas story about that poor little bastard. He doesn't even get to eat. Astros. He's called Tiny. That is
That's
his
great.
nickname. It describes his body, which is
See,
frail.
you're saying
and
him,
weak.
and I'm making fun of you, not him.
I'm just saying, it's poor taste.
Poor taste.
Remember
in
when I
what-
went to
yeah,
your office and the lady working at your counter said that I was Astros?
Yeah.
So does
She
the
was like,
lady
"Are
at
you
your
Astro?"
And then
Does
he
she listen to the
immediately vomited
podcast?
in the floor.
Huh?
It said she goes, "Are you Astros?" And he's like, blah, right there on the floor.
Yeah, then you
threw
just
up.
use the explosive
On
boudet
the floor of
pressure
your
to
fake
power
law
wash
firm.
it.
Yeah. Did you
Does
say
she watch the
boudet?
podcast or something? Like, why does she know me? How did that come up?
Oh, they listened to the podcast whenever they heard I was on a podcast. So
They like
yeah,
continue to
shout
listen
out to
to
my
it. Like, I feel like if I heard at my work that
No,
someone had
they
a
wouldn't
podcast,
continue to listen to it. They did it once to find out what it was about. They heard
and
you.
they
and
just
they're like,
so happened to roll the dice, and it was the episode I was on.
yeah, it was. And then they thought
Sometimes
you
it
would
just
do.
comes up once.
Ah,
That's really
Critical
God bless
failure.
this headache.
Yep,
on the
critical
roll.
failure. You fell down like an idiot swinging your sword.
You fell on your sword, and it hit you in the balls as you were standing up. Oh man, headache hat though. I should get
Is
headache
Headache
hats to
Hat coming up
sponsor
with
us.
any ideas that can better League of Legends?
Well, if you
I
don't have a headache,
if everyone just did what I described,
If
then
everyone just did what you
That doesn't
described,
fix the
they
game,
wouldn't
though.
be themselves.
That doesn't fix the game as a whole, though. That fixed the
Would it
player
fix-
base.
Yeah, I mean, fixing the player base is a long way to fixing the game.
I don't think it is.
if everyone at Riot did it too,
Yeah,
then
we would need Riot to really fall in line. And,
Like-
figured it all
and the
out.
people
I know
designing
what everyone
champions
needs
need to
do.
like just go to hell. You know, like just in a swift kick.
you know,
They completely got away from their basic balance ideas that mechanical champions are going to have lower numbers than difficult or than low mechanical champions.
Are you excited for the Akali change coming through next week?
The champion's actually dead.
Yeah. See ya. Fuck her. Don't care.
What is the
Targeted R,
change?
fantastic.
Targeted R, Q costs more energy.
You can't even Q twice.
Targeted R. Are they
Targeted
just
R.
back to what she fucking was?
No,
Yeah,
it's
more or
only
less.
first cast is targeted.
Yep.
And it's not point and click. So you have to aim it towards a champion, but it's not like old Akali are, from what I understand, where she's flying straight. Like she still will dash through you if you're next to her.
Like Fizz Q.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's awful.
But it's so she can't have 9 dashes, right? Have you seen the videos where she
dashes ever since she was released?
You're super quiet, Astros.
LeBlanc's had 4 dashes since release.
Still quiet.
and yet
LeBlanc?
somehow LeBlanc isn't nearly as frustrating to play against as Akali.
Blake,
Yeah,
why
well,
do you
because
look like
LeBlanc-
you're slowly
well-
morphing into the gimp?
Because LeBlanc doesn't hard abuse melee matchups like Akali and isn't able to avoid ganks like Akali. Like
Right.
Akali's problem isn't her dashes.
No.
Akali's problem is her W.
Akali's problem
And
is
her passive
is her
is-
kit. I think that's what you're describing. Is Akali's
But
kit
it's not her
is
kit
is
as a whole.
is the no it is. It's a terrible kit. It was designed by a fucking idiot, and it was a really bad design. I think you're right.
agree with that.
The kit individually, if you take each thing out, is it a problem until you add everything together? That doesn't
Right.
mean you have to
That's-
remove
yeah,
every
that's what
single
Danger
Design
said.
part.
of the kit is a fucking idiot move, right?
That doesn't mean you have to take power from every single point in the kit, because then you're left with absolutely nothing.
Agreed. She's
you
going to
don't-
be in the dumpster. It's fucking miserable. Like I feel bad for Akali mains. I feel bad for you, but I feel great for me. So that's a bonus.
So it balances out.
Because
But
I'm
it does-
me.
now think about it. Now, not only that is like from a player viewpoint of like objective thinking. Like, would you rather watch Akali in pro play, or do you want to watch Zoe in pro play?
How about I want to
Zoe.
not
Don't-
watch
don't you
either,
ever
but I
say
want
Zoe
Zoe to
is
not be
the
in the
other
game.
option.
Like the champions that you're subbing out for Akali in like pro player is just worse.
Yes,
mean,
I
Zoe's
hate.
just
Like, you want to
cancer.
watch Rumble mid just destroy every matchup because
Yeah, I'd
he
actually
shows
much
you at
rather watch
level
Rumble
2?
Mid. I like Rumble Mid. It's
Yeah, I
fun.
would actually rather watch Rumble.
I'd rather
Like,
watch
I
Rumble.
think you backfired on this
There's
choice
literally
a bit.
like there's no mechanic like.
Yeah,
you
good.
guys see
Yeah, I'd
Rumble
rather watch Garrett
overheat
top.
and
I'd rather
press
watch
R?
Garrett top than Akali.
Like, you're in the minority here. Like,
No, I'm in the
like
majority.
player wants to like viewers want to watch skill expression, and when you take skill expression champions out of the meta, you ruin it.
Why are we even talking about pro play? Let's talk about solo queue because. who
Okay,
the fuck wants
Akali.
to play
If we're
against
talking
Paul?
about solo queue, then Akali never should have gotten nerfed because she's one of the lowest win rate champions in the game.
That
Untrue.
false
She's one of the
equivalency.
lowest win rate champions of the game with less than 20 games. And if you get over 50 games, she has a 54% win rate. It's fucking miserable if you find anyone who's played Akali more than 2 weeks.
It's like saying Lee Sin's win rate has been under 50% since he released. So he's
Right.
not
It's because
good.
everyone plays him, and then all of a sudden, oh, wait a second. I've now learned that you can chase someone all the way across the map with 3 button clicks and then they die instantly. This is fucking awesome.
The problem is that most of the League of Legends community is not actually very good at the video game League of Legends.
That would be the issue. But-
I just don't understand why Riot doesn't understand the problems of a kid and know how to actually like balance it. Like, the problem with Akali is her W, and she's super oppressive in the melee matchup, so she's like the best pick top lane. So
Yep.
you continue to remove power from her R and every other single ability that isn't W and passive.
Well, this is a coconut problem.
This is
I'm
literally
deadly serious. The shroud
the
that makes her
Scion.
totally invisible is the fucking fruit in the coconut. And they're like, nope, we will rip it out, burn down the forest, whatever. But we are having that fucking shroud in
Hold
the
on.
game. And yes,
The
it is
W
a fucking problem.
The W change that they proposed on PvE was already big enough. If you get CC'd, you become visible. Like, that's exactly what should have been happened from day one.
During
Can I
the
just-
CC, right?
Can I just jump in real quick? Do you guys remember when she could go invisible under turrets?
Yeah.
True invisibility.
Remember when that was a
I-
mechanic?
I thought that
We'll
made a
talk
lot of
about that.
sense. I'm not going to lie. I think that should be added back to her kit.
Remember when that was a thing for like a year?
Like, I literally like what they did with Yumi
Yeah, I
when
think
she
Astro
gets
said she
CC'd.
was balanced then too.
I didn't main Akali when she got released, but I mean, it's a good try. Like, I literally said the same thing for Yumi. Like, the second that you get stunned, you need to become like Yumi now can't enter a target for what is it, 5 seconds after she gets CC'd, so she can't instantly hop the second the CC breaks. Akali shouldn't go instantly back into Shroud right after the CC is expired. Like, I've said this for so fucking long, and they just refuse to do it. And then
Coconut.
rather than nerfing the fucking passive, which isn't even a big deal, like nerfing the passive or even like removing the slow on the Q, like you take that away and it's instantly less oppressive in the melee matchups, and the champion is 10 times more balanced in solo queue and pro play.
Yeah.
And the dashes don't become a factor because LeBlanc has 4 uninterruptible dashes. Well, she has 2 interruptible dashes and 2 non-interruptible dashes, because 2 of them are blinks when you blink back to distortion.
Well, I mean, to be
You're
fair,
calling it 4, but I mean, you could say Zed has 4 then too. Like, I mean,
Well, he does. Technically, he does.
Akali has different abilities that take her much further across the map. You're talking about blinking back to a position. I'm telling you, Akali can go all the way across the map and get you. Like,
Well, LeBlanc can say. I mean, LeBlanc.
LeBlanc can't. Not
Okay, Akali's E dash isn't far,
unless it hits.
and it's
And they
Well-
flash away, and then you fly
Well,
all
if-
the way across, and then they use their blink ability, and then you fly all the way across with R1, and then
that's
they
literally Warwick Q.
then they use
You're
Thresh,
complaining
and then
about
you
Warwick
R2
Q now.
You know, like it's
well, okay, so let's talk about that. Warwick has
Warwick
Q
Q. He has 1,
is one.
and then he has his ult, which dashes a certain distance, but he can't
If
go
your
backwards
problem,
at all.
if your problem
My
with
problem is her. But my problem is her kit. Her kit
if your
sucks.
problem with her
It's not
E
fun
is
to
that
play
she can
against.
follow you around the map, then you have to complain about Warwick Q because it's the same thing.
But
No,
her
I
E
don't,
can jump
because it's a
walls,
completely
can't it?
different kit. That's the whole point.
Warwick can't just jump walls.
Warwick will follow you wherever you go if he holds Q.
Yes, no, and I'm completely fine with it. I have no problem with the mechanic. I have a problem with the mechanic attached to everything else. I can. He follows me when I flash. Okay, I can hit him, but wait, no. Akali goes into her shroud. I can't hit her. Okay, fine. I'm gonna run away. Oh wait, I can't run away because she R's at me, and then she R's at me again, and then she Qs me 3 more times.
And I can't hit her back because she E's backwards like Caitlyn, and then she's on me again.
Right. As
And
I use
so
my
it's-
ability. So the difference isn't the ability, as we've stated. It's the ability coupled with all the other fucking abilities.
Well, I mean, I'll just say it this way. Like, I think Warwick is a good example, but I think his shroud is way weaker than Akali's.
I mean, it is, but he has damage reduction on E. It's broken, dude.
It's not broken.
It's broken. It's a fear. His Q's point and click. At least Akali's a skill shot.
At least, okay, here's the
Just
thing.
Alright,
At least
alright.
Warwick,
I'm just
I don't
gonna
know if
go
Warwick is
drown
actually good
myself in
right
my
now.
tub. You guys have a great rest of the episode. I'm
No,
dead.
honestly,
So-
like this is the problem. Like, even though I'm sitting here giving you 3 different nerfs for Akali, we're complaining about the rest of her kit. Which by
We're
taking
complaining
away-
about the frustration of a kid. So what you're talking about right now is what you think the problem is as someone who's good at playing her and who can abuse her. I'm telling you that I don't care how shitty she is. I don't want to play against her because I do not have fun interacting with that kit.
there's
Me
plenty of-
as the
like,
other player.
there's
It's the same
15
reason I fucking hate Aphelios. Aphelios can get nerfed into the fucking ground and it will never matter because he can do 88 things and you won't know what is coming at you next. Are you going to get rooted next? Are you going to explode next? Is he going to be able to shoot you from all the way across the map next? You'll never know.
Akali
And
doesn't
that's
have a
the problem.
transparency
It's
issue though.
frustration. Yes, she does have a transparency issue because you have no idea where she's coming from at any time with any of her abilities.
Wait. She has a
that's like
literal
complaining about assassins in
transparency
general,
issue
though.
because she becomes transparent in a shroud.
I was waiting for someone to see that.
But she's not coming out of nowhere because you know she's in. It's not like she's hopping a wall and instantly blowing you up, which 95% of assassins are going to do anyway.
And I like
Well-
assassins have a frustration level. I agree. The biggest problem with this assassin is the combination of her entire kit.
Well,
That's-
okay,
that's
so
against
I
it.
don't. The difference is when playing with against other assassinating ones are the ones that you feel completely impotent to fight back, right? Like those are the ones that are the number one most frustrating. So even though like Katarina is a thing, I still feel like I can interrupt what she's trying to do and fight her. Or like, and it's more difficult because she has blink mechanics too, and she can reset them. Okay, cool. But like Fizz was the number one. Everybody fucking hates Fizz because of the troll pull, and it's like, okay, you hit me, you did a burst, and then I can't hit you back, right? Like that became frustrating. Except it's less frustrating than Akali because you eventually have to come down off your troll pull, and at that point you don't have cooldowns. With Akali, you're just in a pocket of smoke, and you get to get your cooldowns back, and you get to return to the smoke, and you get to dash twice more, and you got an AOE thing with
The
the slow
shroud
and your auto
compound
attacks.
all the problems that her kit has.
You take away. I agree. You take away Shroud completely and give her some other ability, and
You don't have to take away Shroud. Like you just don't
No, you
give
do.
it. You don't, because old
Okay,
Akali
you
was
don't-
completely
you don't have
fine
to take
with
away
Shroud.
Shroud. You can instead gut the rest.
Old
of her
Akali
and make
was
her
fine
miserable.
with Shroud until they got rid of pink wards that could see her. Like
It's not.
that was when people started complaining about her again because around like season 3 they nerfed her a lot. I used to play her like way back then, and then nobody really complained about her for a while until they did the vision changes, and then she slowly made a comeback because you no longer had a consistent way to get rid of her
But
invisibility.
the pink board came back before she got reworked.
Yeah, but she has like regular stealth. Like she had truly invisible stealth.
But that got fixed before they even reverted her to New Akali, or reworked her into the New Akali.
I think invisibility is just a bad mechanic, honestly. in
It's
League
it's
of
a very
Legends.
difficult to balance mechanic, and
It's never
I
been
think they've
done really
proven
well in League
that
of Legends.
they have a difficult time balancing.
The best one is like fucking Twitch invisibility because you can see him if you get close enough.
Well, it's the same as Evelyn invisibility.
Yeah. Well, Evelyn's got problems.
Evelyn's
because
the
she's
problem with
just weak.
Evelyn is that it's a passive, right? She doesn't need to do
Well, the
shit to
problem
have
with
it
the
running.
problem with Evelyn is that she can blow you up in 2 seconds, assuming that's still the case.
Well, she
is.
can, but she's not meta because she's not a level 2 jungler.
Fair enough. I don't know
So,
that.
well, yeah.
Well, okay, so jungle is at a weird point where everything you do early game matters, and then everything you do late game kind of doesn't.
The problem with jungle right now is jungle XP is completely gutted. Like camps refresh faster, but their XP worth is like minimal to none. So junglers, like, it's almost 9 times out of 10 better just to spam gank lanes than it is to actually clear your jungle, which leads to very linear playstyle and laners just complaining about jungle. That it's overly oppressive, even though the role itself is weak. It's just what they have to do to be relevant is annoying for laners.
Yes.
Yeah, jungle's in
I will
a rough state. They are addressing jungle next patch, so I'll be interested to see where those land. They're doing like 4 changes to the jungle, different experience on some guys. So we'll see if it affects anything. Right now, the jungle pool is super limited too, which is also boring. I can't tell you the last game I played a game without a Lee Sin.
I was gonna say, none of you guys ever played Master Yi versus Akali. You don't know the meaning of pain against that champion until you've done that matchup.
Well, I
She
think
goes into the shroud and you have nothing to hit her with.
like if they want to make it so Pink Ward's reveal Akali and Shroud, like I'm completely fine with it. Like I could fucking care less.
Well, that would fix the champion
the
right
biggest
there.
fuck up was the true stealth mechanic. I think that's fucking awful.
Well, it's not in anymore, so it doesn't matter.
There's no true stealth anymore?
No, she gets
It is-
hit,
yeah,
she's
she does not
visible
get
under
true stealth.
turrets.
She can get hit
all
under
that.
turret.
No, I'm talking about the stealth where there's no like items that you can reveal
Oh,
people.
then
with.
yes, that is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Pink Ward's-
Twitch, if he walks over a pink ward,
Well,
you'll see him.
if she's hit by like a burn effect, you have the silhouette.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
that's
Like the
most-
silhouette
that's
sucks
the most
dick.
that you'll get.
Like the silhouette doesn't help a ton of champions in the game.
Well,
I
yeah.
can't auto attack a silhouette.
You can't. Yeah, I don't like it. And it wasn't a good mechanic when you had the ability to use the pink ward. Like
I think it's fine at that point.
it was crappy. It's just always stealth has just always been shitty. Like ever since I can remember in this fucking game, stealth has been shitty.
Well, like if you take away the stealth, you have to put something worth there in her kit.
Sure, that's
But
fine.
but then people are just gonna complain about that.
No,
Like,
no.
Like
If it
anything
was
you
well-made-
add in that place.
If it was a well-made champion, you wouldn't get complaints constantly. Akali is one of like 5 or 10 champions that everyone always hates, and the reason is because of the kit.
Here's
So
the problem. Like if
rebuilt her with a different kit, people would not innately hate her. It's
well,
the
that's then it's
combination
not a
of
different. Then it's a different champion completely. If it's a
it
different kit, it's a
already is a
different champion.
completely different champion than what they had originally designed.
Which is exactly that's why it's a rework. Like it's not the same champion. The thing is, like, if you take away her W, the complaint is no longer going to be about her stealth. Now they're just going to continue to complain about her mobility. So,
No, I don't. That's not true though. There are
but it is
champions
because
that are
we've
mobile.
had the conversation, and you guys continuously bring up the mobility more than you bring up the stealth. Like at this point, I've heard more times that Akali has 4 dashes more than she has of invisibility. Like
I
every
don't
time we
think
get
so.
on,
That's literally like I don't think 4 dashes is a problem. Katarina has 100,000 dashes. I don't feel like
but it
Katarina
is.
is unfair.
I've had this argument with you, like everyone in the Discord, a million times, and it always comes
No.
back to her mobility.
No, I think
like 9
she
times out
has-
of 10, the complaint is her mobility until we talk about the shroud, and then you guys want the shroud gun, which is fine. We can remove the shroud. I don't care, but I guarantee
Okay,
if
if
we
you
remove the shroud, we're
let's
just gonna
take a
sit here and
let's take a
complain
straw
about
poll. If you could
mobility.
if you could lower her mobility but she keeps the shroud, or you can keep her current mobility or even increase it and remove the shroud, which would you pick?
Ladder.
I'd vote to remove the shroud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would too.
But
I
I
would
guarantee,
too.
like, even if you do this, even if you make this vote, they're gonna completely forget about it, and it's not gonna matter because now they're just gonna sit here and complain about the mobility of the champion. Like I
Sure.
100% guarantee it,
I
and
don't
it doesn't
think
fix the problem.
Like, I don't think the world in which you live in is accurate in terms of like people just have it out for a collie. I don't think
Or
that's it. I think
let's
it's that she has a problematic kit that doesn't give me opportunities for counterplay,
bro,
and
people
League
If
itself
you
has
add in,
indicated that
people
that
will
is the
complain
major
about literally
problem with
any
champions.
champion. Like saying that somebody will complain about a champion is a bad argument because they will complain about any champion.
True.
People can
Master
is
Yi
say
is
fine,
like the
but
anything.
worst ultimate in the game, and people would still complain about how fast he runs.
but
Like,
this
it
is
doesn't
a different
fucking
point
matter.
because she is one of the most complained about champions, and she does have a very problematic kit, right? Like I play the champion. I play against the champion. I don't have an issue playing against the champion because I understand what the champion is trying to do.
Yeah, the champion is trying to prevent you. Like, the problem is that Akali falls into that group of champions where the less League of Legends you play against them, the more highly you'll perform against them. If you just don't play League of Legends against Akali, then you'll do great. You just sit back and farm your waves. Don't ever try to engage her. You'll be fine. But the second that you try to do a trade with her and she goes into the shroud and then she pokes you with the Qs, that's when you start to lose the lane. If you just sit there and hit your minions like the good little laner that you are, then you'll be fine against her most times, but you'll be bored as shit. Nobody wants to play like that. So of course that doesn't work for most people. Like, I think that just some champions just force you into that sort of play style.
I mean,
And
I
I
think
think that
it's
she's
really
definitely one
just
of
an
them.
issue of like you are. It's not fun to me to lose the ability. Like it's like boxing if I can't hit you back, and that's
Like Zed is a hated champion, but I actually have had a lot of fun laning against Zeds before.
yeah.
Like, I
Okay.
feel like he's got clear. Like, the thing with Zed is that he's got clear windows of opportunity.
Like if
Where,
Akali drops Shroud, you have 26 seconds to trade with her. Like
But
but the
she
problem
won't
is that she
do
gets so
that.
much
But she doesn't
control.
need to trade with you. That's the whole point. If you come at her, she ease back, and then you're like, all right.
okay, and then you
whatever.
have wave position and you just freeze it and she can't step up to you
She
without
can't
jungle
freeze
and
because
reverse.
of her Q. Are you fucking kidding me? She has the easiest farm button in the entire fucking game.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. There it is. That's all she has to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you talk about these things like they're actually meaningful weaknesses, and they're not.
Okay, I can play against Akali at a higher level than I play Akali, and it doesn't matter. Like the champion is very like clear on when if she's stepping up to you and you're engaging in a trade, she's gonna drop W, and if you continue to try and trade with her, she's gonna win the trade. Like that's a
Yeah.
no shit situation.
Agreed.
So you
So
back off the shroud and you wait for your 26-second window to
So,
trade with her
okay, but if
and
you
get a
back
jungler
off the
gank.
shroud, then she gets wave position and pushes it in, and then she waits out the 26-second cooldown. What do you do then?
You have jungler.
Okay, what if you don't have
So
jungler?
you need to 2v1
Oh
her.
bullshit! The fuck you have a jungler? They don't exist. They're level 1
If
through
you're-
3.
I mean, you
Mm.
might be right if the game is being played in an ideal manner, then yes, your jungler is in the area to do that. But are we talking pro player? Or are we talking solo queue? My jungler's not there in solo queue because I'm the jungler and I'm farming wraiths while you do that. Fuck you. You can deal with that yourself. We're not gonna reach a consensus here. All of us fucking hate Akali. You think that she's fine. We have
I'm
a
not saying
difference
she's
of
fine.
opinion.
I think we're looking at two completely different problems with the champion.
What do you? Okay, then let's approach it from this direction. What do you think the problem is?
I've
Because there's
proposed
clearly a problem. We all agree on that.
I've proposed the same fucking change for Akali for the last 3 months. You lower her passive damage, you take away the slow on Q, and you make it so once she's CC'd, Shroud goes away, and when she's hit, she's revealed for a second or two. And
So the biggest nerfs in that list are Shroud.
yeah,
Okay, and then we also agreed that if we could hit her mobility or hit her Shroud, we would hit the Shroud. So then we all agree.
yeah, but I'm saying with my I'm offering to leave Shroud in with points of weakness into it by making it so if you hit her with CC, or she gets hit while dealing damage to you in shrouds. So if she Qs, she's revealed for 1 to 2 seconds, and if you
Yeah, it needs to be a
trade with
longer period than it currently.
Sure.
if you continue to trade onto her, she stays revealed. So if you're auto attacking her, she stays revealed.
If there was
you
a
stop trading
significant
with her,
penalty
then
for acting out of shroud, then sure, that would be a lot
Yeah,
better.
like right now I have.
I still probably wouldn't
that
enjoy
long
playing
as a
against
trade
it, but
window.
it
It'd
would
be
be
at least
less
tolerable.
bad.
Right.
But
You're getting to it's about tolerance. Like
Tolerability.
it's
yeah.
gonna be
but,
fucking obnoxious
here's
and
my
annoying
biggest
no matter
issue
what.
and why like this annoys me so much is because like I'm sitting here as like an Akali player willing to give up like multiple points in her kit, right? I'm giving up her passive damage, I'm giving up her slow. These are two very important things that make her playable into melee matchups. Because she pretty much if you nerf her damage and her slow and you take away her slow, she's gonna struggle into a lot more like aggressive melee matchups, like your Darius's, your Renekton's, your Mordekaisers, your
Problem
stuff
with
like
these
that.
champions is that the damage nerfs are never what the champion needs most of the time.
Well, hold
And
on.
they
Why shouldn't she struggle into a matchup against top lane Darius or Renekton? Those are supposed to be the premier lane bullies of the top lane. Why shouldn't she struggle into
Because
that?
they're not strong right now. Their itemization sucks.
yeah, but you're still gonna be getting fucked by Renekton and pretty much
You
any
still
matchup.
do get fucked by
Anytime you have
Renekton.
an assassin who can out trade a juggernaut, I think that you have a mistake.
The issue is you're looking at Akali in the top lane as an assassin in the early game when she's not, because she's taking Conqueror and she's
Right. So
she's
also
just gonna
it's-
out trade
Okay,
you.
here's another
it's
one.
amusing, yeah.
Anytime that you have an assassin that builds tank, you have a problem.
Well, she's not going tank. Conqueror isn't tank. Like tank Akali hasn't been a thing since.
I'm not
Overtime.
talking about literal. Okay, doesn't even matter.
He's saying if an assassin is prioritizing defense over offense, it's
Well,
usually
she's
indicative of there being a
still
problem.
she's still building Gunblade first item.
Sure, but that's a defensive item as well because it
Well, no,
provides
it's,
healing.
it's her offensive item.
I
the-
know that. I'm saying that it provides defensive utility too, because if you're going Conqueror, that's a defensive keystone. I know that it allows you to be aggressive, but it's really more of a defensive keystone at that
Well,
point.
90
Gunblade is not a pure offense item. Rabadon's Death Cap is a pure offense item.
Well, yeah.
Gunblade provides a ton of sustain, provides a ton for you in lane. That is not a pure assassin item.
Yeah.
If you're rushing both of those, I mean, and I think it's fine. That's her item. I get it. I'm just saying, like, if you act like that's pure offense, then I
mean,
just
I'm not
disagree.
talking about full tank echo here.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying is, if your keystones are designed to like stay alive, you're an assassin. That shouldn't
Like,
be
why isn't
how
Akali
you
taking
build.
fucking electrocute?
Because the Keystone's dog shit. Most
Well,
champions aren't taking electrocute.
Okay, fine. I don't play this
Katarina
fucking
does.
game, but I'm saying
Katarina
Akali-
isn't a good champion right now.
Okay, I mean, but that's when it's designed to
Like,
be a
if we're-
burst keystone.
Yeah,
That's
but
Okay,
what
the
it's designed-
let's assume electrocute is good. Let's assume that it's if you're playing a burst assassin, you take electrocute. Let's just assume that that's the fucking premise here.
Mhm.
There's still no fucking way that Akali is taking it because she's a sustained
Akali used to
champion
take it.
when there was no Conqueror, right? Or no new Conqueror.
If there was a window where she took it
No, because she took fucking Fleet.
into very hard matchups, yes. But like every time it was played in, like Faker used to play with electrocute. Like Akali used to get played electrocute, inspiration, and you'd run minion dematerializer and free boots as your secondary option.
Well, yeah, but fucking free boots is cancer.
I mean, it's
Minion
still in the game.
Dematerializer was
Yeah, I know it's still in the
cancer.
game. They nerfed
They're
it.
both still in the game. Like,
Yeah, but they nerf materializer too. It's not the same as it used to be.
And boots.
yeah, that's the problem. Like, the Juggernaut Keystone is just better on Assassin because
No,
the
I mean, but
Keystone-
you're
that's
you're
the problem.
kind of inadvertently proving my point. Because Akali would take things that didn't make a whole lot of sense for Akali. She would just take the broken shit, and then that would work. And
What
it
doesn't
shouldn't.
make sense on Akali though?
Why would Akali need a minion dematerializer? What
Because
in God's fucking shit would she need with a goddamn minion dematerializer? She's a fucking assassin. Like, what? Did she assassinate a minion? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. She should take shit that is aggressive, dangerous, causes burn damage, causes
Yeah, because
heat, fire.
the
You
12
know,
damage from Scorch is not worth it. Like it's
that's the problem. That's what I'm getting. That should be worth it. That should be her thing.
the problem isn't Akali then. The problem is the weak keystone.
The problem is you have a champion that's kit is so powerful in conjunction with itself that it doesn't matter what keystone she takes, so she's free to take whatever the fuck is the most broken, regardless of whether it synergizes with her kit, because her kit does fucking everything. That's the problem. That's what I'm getting at, is you don't have to specialize in your room. You can pick this one, that one, and this one over here, because all those things put together don't meaningfully stop me from doing my job. If I take Electrocute off Katarina, she no longer performs.
That's
She's
fucking,
not a champion.
just straight up lies. Because Conquer Katarina and Dark Harvest Katarina ruled fucking season 9 for most of it.
Okay, Conqueror. Okay, not Conqueror. Take Conqueror out. Right? So let's just put Conqueror aside. Dark Harvest and Electrocute are essentially the same thing. Electrocute is early burst damage, Dark Harvest is late damage. And the reason that Dark Harvest works on her is because you can easily proc it with your bouncing dagger. Which actually makes sense because that synergizes, again, with her fucking kit and it does assassin things. You know what she didn't take? Fucking Minion Dematerializer.
Well, yeah, because second you could actually go into precision and take Triumph and Coup de Grace because it was actually important. Because the AoE damage from Coup de Grace was good on Katarina when it's not as efficient on fucking Akali.
Yeah. That's
This is
yes. So that's what I'm saying is you have a piss poor kit for an assassin if assassin things aren't good on her.
Like, why the fuck? Like, there's so many assassins that don't take like the most cost efficient runes in the game. Like, Callan used to take the fucking Nimbus cloak for when he pressed R, he could run a little bit faster. That doesn't make him deal more damage.
Who are you talking about? What? I didn't hear what you said.
Callan used to take Nimbus.
Talon. Okay, Talon's another problematic assassin. The whole leaping over walls thing, I don't think can realistically be balanced very well.
But like, an option, that's another champion that has very strong proficiencies with runes that aren't built solely around damage in burst and is an assassin.
Right. What I'm saying is I think your kit's out of whack if you don't have to build around what your core identity is. Your core identity is being a fucking assassin. You need to be building assassin-y things to be effective.
Your most recent complaint was that Akali is taking Conquer, correct? And she shouldn't because she's an assassin. But when I bring up Conquer about Katarina, you say, well, let's ignore Conquer.
No, I said let's ignore Conquer as a keystone because I don't think it's actually optimal on Katarina. I don't think it's that good. There was a time period where people built like a bruiser cat and they took Conqueror, but I thought that's cheese. That's why I don't want to talk about Conqueror because I don't think it's that good. And it didn't stay around in the meta, so I still don't think it's that good.
It still saw play all the way through the end of season 9 until they changed Conqueror. Like, you can consider it a cheese thing.
I mean, I do. I think Katarina is played with damage runes. I think that is cheese. I mean, I think it's like to the extent that, like, okay, let me back up for a second because I think it is important to say runes are meant to be flexible. You're meant to be able to figure out neat and interesting things that work with runes. What my point is, like Viger with the Glacial Augment. Oh, he's way better with Glacial. Okay. Should he be? Like, should that be a thing that, oh yeah, we're just going to give Viger extra CC to ensure his slows, to ensure he hits everything? The cheese takes over the identity and then it becomes the way in which you play that champion. I don't know that that's healthy or good. I feel like he should fit in with either more damage or more mana sustain so he has the ability to farm up damage. But like when those strats take over the identity of who your champion is, I think it becomes problematic, right? But at least Glacial synergizes with his kit. right? At least there's a reason behind it. I feel like
If there was,
Conqueror
there
is
was
just busted, and Akali doesn't suffer from taking busted things, so we can jam busted on her kit, and then just that's it. Like that's the synergy. The synergy is not, there's the things that you're supposed to want with Conqueror is like, I'm gonna hit you a lot. I'm going to stay in combat with you. I'm going to beat you up like a juggernaut does. Like that's how I fight a fight. Like
that's
I
how
fight you like Darius does. I
that's a Kali
over and over and over again until I stack up all my shit.
do in a melee match up top, which is where she's taking Conquer.
Right. Why is an assassin doing that?
Because that's how her kit is set up for laning phase. Her damage comes from her fucking passive.
Right. So it's a poorly designed kit. Why are you doing mostly passive damage with an assassin? Assassin damages are normally tied to a cooldown.
Her passive is set to the cooldowns of her ability. She doesn't get her passive for free without landing abilities.
Right, she hits an ability, she gets a passive hit. She hits another ability, she gets a passive hit. Like that's
That's tied to an ability's cooldown.
Uh, agree to disagree. I think that's where we're at, guys. We've been talking about Akali for 45 minutes.
An ability cooldown.
like okay, her Q doesn't seem to have a very long cooldown. Her ult gets 2 resets.
Okay, I think that the argument would be like that when we talk about playing around cooldowns, Zed is playing around his Q cooldown. Zed is playing around his W cooldown. Let's be honest. Same thing with Akali. She's playing around her W cooldown. She is not playing around her Q cooldown. And I think that's the distinction that needs to be made.
Without her W cooldown up. Because without W, she only gets 2 rotations of Q.
Unless she gets an auto off, right?
Well, the energy back on her, even if you land both your Qs and get the energy auto back, I think by the point at like 4 levels in Q, you'll have enough for a third, but I don't think before that you'll have enough for a third Q.
I don't know.
But I'm not 100% on that, so.
All right. Well, I promised a double episode. We have delivered. My fucking headache is murder. I actually laid down on my couch for a couple of minutes until I couldn't not talk about this, and then I had to get back up and walk over here with the headache hat. So, this episode brought to you by Headache Hat. It saves arguments. All right. Thank you, Ponderous, for coming back. Thank you, all of Ponderous's 10 fans, for sticking out for 6 months until he did come back. I knew it was eventually going to happen.
Go listen to my fucking podcast. Fade In, TV Pilot Podcast. It'll say Michael Largen on it.
That's the one.
Does not say Ponderous Sea Lion. So
He's
be
going
looking
by
for
his
that.
adult name now.
Yeah,
His
my
rap
big boy name.
So, all
Go
right.
listen to that, you fuckers.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you all coming on, and thank you all for sticking out the double episode. Regardless of how you end up on the whole Akali discussion,
I have one thing. I'm not saying I didn't have this argument to say that like Akali isn't a problematic champion. I'm saying that no matter what you change about Akali, people are going to complain about the champion.
And in breaking news, the League of Legends community complains. I think we're good.
I'm glad we cracked that one. All right, boys. Let's wrap it up with a traditional good night, everybody.
We did it.
All right. Wait till your things upload, and then we're good. And I'm going to die.
Have fun with your.
Like, seriously, I feel terrible right now. I don't know what happened, but like midway through the episode,
I don't know.
feel like
I think mine is done. I added the message already.
Does it send you a message?
It'll be on Blake's end.
Oh shit! I may throw up.
I wish the stream was still running now.
It is. It is live. We are live. Oh fuck. All right. Skinny cool guy. Looks like he's done. Danger's done. I'm done. Astros is not done. Astros is done. We're good.
We're good.
Yep.
All right.
All right. See you
Adios,
guys.
fellas.
Later, guys.
See you in another 6 months.
Yep.